Next up, Brett New, also from Australia. Super twist off the tower. Clive, what can you tell us about Brett?
Brett New, he's got a very unique style of jumping, which we call him Brett Stretch New. You'll see why on the jump he lets go with one hand and sort of lets his body get stretched out like a long piece of elastic. There he goes.
And one-handed as well. I mean, that must be an awful lot of pressure and force going down that arm.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I wouldn't like it to be going down my arm and landing on the wall at 45 mile an hour, that's for sure. That's why I'm sitting here watching it.
Well, it was a reasonable jump, and he's doing some good tricks here. A forward roll, that must be almost impossible.
Yeah, great stuff. The Aussies always like to put on a good show. Big flips, big tricks, and big jumps. That's what they're here for.
Brett on his way back for his second pass. Let's see what he can do in his tricks.
He's starting off with a couple of easy tricks for him, novice tricks, and straight into some good stuff, which is what we want to see, the flips. And let's see some Stretch New stuff here. Look at that, Superman style.
Well, 22.2 meters. He's doing well. I think that's the second longest jump there, and he's just lost it on that final trick. So his points total not so good, Clive. Here we have Ron, the General Scarpa from the USA, with a knee brace on, and Clive Wilston in the commentary box.
Yeah, Barefooting's most highly decorated barefoot water skier today. Unfortunately, he's got his, as you can see, his knees strapped up with a brace as he injured it in practice. So he's taking it fairly easy. He's going to be looking for a safe jump, but a safe ride away. Let's bit early there.
21 meters, respectable distance, but he's happy, he's okay. But he just bailed out on that landing. You can see the kind of impact that it's had on him, Clive.
Yeah, he's wincing there. It's obviously that knee is definitely giving him some problems. No one likes to do any sporting activity with an injury, least of all this kind of thing. This is in at the deep end, big time. But you know, Ron's still putting on a good show there. You know, just shows you how tough this guy is, and he's no spring chicken, and that's a big jump.
And he's lost it again. I mean, these landings, they look like huge impact landings, don't they?
Oh, and they can be really bad. You really need to use your legs to absorb the shock of the impact. If you don't, it goes straight through your spine.
Next up on the tower, Patrick Vayner from France. Patrick did extremely well in the first splash, and he is a superstar.
He's a great competitor and a fantastic sportsman, Patrick. I always have him on the top of my list for any of these freestyle barefoot events. Always puts on a good show. Look, no messing about. He's focused there, lining up for that jump. Watch this landing. They're unlucky.
That's a pity, because he was looking quite fluent in his tricks. He's okay, which is always the most important thing. The crowd's enjoying the spectacle here of the best barefooters in the world. I mean, I must admit, I'm really turned on by this sport, Clive. It is fantastic, and yet we don't get huge crowds yet.
No, unfortunately we don't. God knows why. That's something I'm aiming to improve on. It's going to be my ultimate goal. I mean, because some of the things we see are absolutely spectacular. 45 mile an hour over a fiberglass ramp, skiing away. Patrick actually started backwards on his face.
He's lost his helmet as well.
And a toe back.
Oh, that looked quite painful, Clive. Let's see that again in slow-mo.
Yeah, that I can guarantee you that really hurt. I mean, he done a toe back real nice, then got that toe front all in a mess. He's ripped his groin, knee ligaments, and then after that took a full face slap just for fun. Just for good measure.
Now here is Dan Goldie with an absolutely superb trick off the dock. He's the local guy, the Invitational.
Fantastic stuff from Dan. That truly wins the it for me on the starts department from Sergeant Dan. He's got down with the cannon there.
An early bailout, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunate for Dan. Young lad, skis with me quite a lot. But look at that start. 720 S-bend off the tower and into a tumble up start. He's basically done his dough on his start and not left any concentration left.
He should be joining the Submariners surely, and not the not the army, as you were telling me.
He's actually sponsored by the Royal Navy, so at least he's getting back.
Fair enough. So Dan, on his way back, let's see what the local skier can do.
Right, come on Dan, look at that, he's fully Union jacked up with that lovely crash of it there. and he's going at some basic turns, so it's looking good. Dan's settled, shakes the water out of his face. Let's see what he does on the jump. Look at that, he's concentration in his eyes there. Come on, Dan, we want a big one here. It's a good jump, but no handle, doesn't help him.
Well, Dan is okay. A spirited performance from the local skier. Just losing the rope, and another massive wipeout. Next on the tower, Dave Small, triple world champ, pulling off a fancy trick to start with. Clive, this guy is really special.
He certainly is, although he's lost his crash helmet on the start there, so he can't complete the run. He can't run with that hat, so he gets a re-ride.
Okay, perfectly within the rules that you make up as you go along, Clive. We like that.
Well, I'd like to call it innovate, and using a bit of imagination. Dave's got plenty of that. And anyway, he's off to a safe start now. Fairly simple tricks, but does make these look easier than they really are. Cuts out for the jump. Small name, but big jump and such a clean landing. You know, that's what Dave's jumping is his absolute speciality. He's really got it in the bag.
He did make that look easy. 34.6 points. He made that landing of his jump look like a piece of cake. But Clive, I mean, these jumps and tricks are deceptively difficult. I mean, how long does it take to perfect this?
Well, Dave's been skiing about 10 barefoot in about 10 years, and he is the best in the world. But most people, you know, can spend twice or three times that length and not get half the way up the barefoot league that Dave is. So it can take an eternity.
Well, Dave Small getting into some clean water, launching off the ramp there. It's a huge jump, but he's lost it on the way. 25.9 metres, the longest jump if he'd landed it, and only 11.7 points. So this is a bit of a disaster, actually. I think it means that Dave Small isn't going to get through to the semis.
No, I don't think he is. Not going to be enough. He will be mad with that.
And he's hobbling off, clearly injured himself. He's also wearing a knee brace. So Dave Small out now, the Belgian Jan Balian. What can you tell us about Jan?
Jan, the Red Bull man. That's what his fans would like to scream as he skis down the lake here. Jan been a top competitor in Europe and in the world. Again, does some fantastic top-end tricks, toe turns and step turns. But he started off with some easy little numbers.
Well, you say they're easy, they look almost impossible. Oh, an absolute cartwheeling wipeout on the jump. Oh, you can see the exasperation. Look at him go.
It gets a little bit twisted in the air. There is a bit of a cash bonus here to do a 360 S-bend off the ramp, but I don't think he was actually trying that.
Well, Clive, you should be giving the biggest cash prize for the biggest wipeout, because this is absolutely amazing. Here is Jan on his way back.
Yeah, that crash definitely rattled some brain cells.
Has he got any?
Actually, he claims not to have that many, so you know, when there's no sense, there's no feeling, I guess. But no, he's a great skier, great competitor, Jan. Again, he's always on the list for freestyle footing. Look at that, these are hard tricks. Oh, and what happened there?
Well, 30.3 points. Jan Balian coming back in towards the dock. That's the end of the qualifiers. The top four: Andre de Villiers, Brett Sands, Brett New, Patrick Wayner going through. No Dave Small and no Ron Scarpa. Well, it's going to be an all-Australian semi-final number one between Brett New and Brett Sands.
Come
on, let's go!
Brett Sands first off the tower. Clearly pumped, isn't he, Clive?
Yeah, Brett Sands always like that. Never a dull moment with him. And from start to finish, all day long.
That's a good little trick off the tower as well. He's managed to pull it off cleanly.
Yeah, nice little 360 there from Sandsy. And two 360 tumble turns. Unique tricks to barefoot in the tumble turns. No one else puts that in their repertoire. And it's quite an easy trick. One of the novice things, but that's not. That's a hard jump. But an easy landing. And now some great, fast, multiple turns from Brett Sands.
Oh, he's pulling these off beautifully, isn't he? This is an excellent run. It could be the top score of the day.
Really packing it in, a little back toe to finish on. Oh, what a great finish there. Tricks,
52.4 points. That's a superb score. He's going to be pleased with that. Maybe he's going to risk a little bit on the way back.
Well, I hope so. I really want to. I mean, Brett Sands has been famous for doing a wake-to-wake somersault from one side of the wake to the other. He gets so much air It looks like he uses it. Well, he effectively does use the wake of the boat as a ramp. But
oh, is that what you're talking about? He was giving it a whirl.
Good trick. Unfortunately, the same end as the preliminary. Catches the back of his neck on the water, needs to land on his shoulders.